my name's McKenna Sawcheck. I'm with Beta Gamma Sigma in the marketing department. I'll be kind of your host today. And BGS Global HQ is in St. Louis, Missouri, here in the US. So that's where we are. See lots of people joining from all over. Welcome. Perfect. We've been pretty steady at this number of participants. So I'll go ahead and get going. So I just wanted to give everyone a quick rundown of what to expect today and some housekeeping items. So the agenda looks like for us, we're going to kind of go over why BGS decided to change up the chapter resources page, how we decided to gather feedback for that to implement those changes, and what changes were actually made. And during the what portion of this, I'll share my screen and kind of walk you through some of the bigger changes on the website, and then we'll move into a Q&A. So if there are any questions throughout, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A, and we have our chapters team. You can see some of them in the chat right now. They'll come off mute and help answer questions if it's something specific to your chapter or to the website. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and jump in then. So a lot of the why behind we decided to move forward with these changes over the summer, it's been a work in progress for us. As you all know, the chapter resources page has been around for a very long time. And as we've considered or continued to add digital resources, the page just wasn't conducive in the former or the layout that it was. We noticed that a lot of links were like multiple clicks away into the website. Like essentially there were a lot of buried resources, and those are just very hard to navigate. And it also was based on feedback from the chapter survey that the chapters team reviews every year. So we really took that to heart, and I worked with the chapters team to like kind of revamp everything this summer. And then we went live with those changes in October, as you all have been a part of. So how we gathered that feedback was we worked with the Chapter Advisor Council, so the CAC. If any of those members are on, feel free to let us know in the chat right now. But we held 2 sessions with them over the summer to really gather their feedback and their thoughts on how we can move forward with the changes. And a lot of the feedback were things that we already knew, that like it's such a layered page that resources that were very useful were multiple clicks away. Hey, Leanne, she was on one of our calls. It's good to see you. But like I was saying, very layered. So we wanted to bring all of those resources to a much more accessible point on the website, which I will just go ahead and jump in now and share my screen. Okay, can you see the chapter resources page? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always a little hard to tell with the screen share. So the first thing I want to review with you all were the changes made to the drop-down menu, because it does look a little bit different for the collegiate chapters tab as a whole. So again, what we noticed is that there wasn't like congruency in this in the tab. So a lot of what we would consider chapter resources were their own like clickable site, and it was just a little confusing. So we combined those. So ones that you'll notice specifically are the chapter honoree nomination form and the bronze key statue. Those are very much chapter resources, so it made sense to pull those into the chapter resources dropdown. And then so a lot of what the changes we made were also influenced by the Google Analytics of seeing the top pages that were clicked of this specific tab. And one of the things that we noticed is that the chapter marketing materials were one of the top 6 pages from the whole site, let alone just the collegiate chapters. So it was a very it seems as though it's a really popular tab, but again, it was like 3 clicks away into the chapter resources. If memory serves me, it was like within the chapter toolkit. So then you had to click into chapter resources, the toolkit, to get to a very popular page. So we pulled that to the forefront, and not many changes were made to this page, but I will go over them quickly. There we go. As you all can tell, one of the things that were the biggest that you all will notice is that the chapter media kit and the chapter toolkit are no longer like branded on the website. I should have mentioned this earlier, but I do just want to reiterate, all of the previous resources on the chapter resources page are still available. The only 2 things that are going to look a little bit different are, of course, the layout, but that the chapter toolkit and the chapter media kit, we pulled all of those resources into like their respective categories. So the chapter marketing materials is where you'll go to find a lot of your promotional material. So some things from the media kit that we pulled out are some sample social media graphics, templates, any website copy that you would need for your individual universities to talk about BGS. But other than that, the chapter marketing materials page didn't change. It's just the location of it now. It's a lot more accessible. So where the big changes happened were the chapter resources page. So if you all remember before, there were a lot less buttons and it didn't scroll as far. But as I've said, you had to click multiple times to get into any sort of to see any sort of resources that you were possibly looking for. So we took a lot of time, like I said, pulling those resources to the main landing page and categorizing them. So that's a big thing that the chapters team worked with us on, to break all of the resources down into categories now. So we have tapping and recognition, chapter support resources, promotion and engagement, digital and printable resources. And though tapping and recognition is right here, if you wanted to quickly navigate to promotion and engagement, you just click that tab and you'll see all of our resources that are the chapter resources allotted to that. And then you can just toggle back up to the top. And again, just a quick rundown of what's in these individual tabs. Tapping and resources, or tapping and recognition, pretty self-explanatory, but anything you all will need through that portion of your planning for the year. And it's definitely our largest category. The chapter support resources are everything for our admin and our advisors that you'll need. So Collegiate Chapter Handbook, one of the resources that we think is really valuable, but again, on the old site, it was pretty buried, so it was multiple clicks in, are the frequently requested website links. It's just a good document to kind of keep on your desktop and click into anything. It's a really comprehensive list. It's a good one for sure. Again, I've already kind of gone over promotion and engagement, and some of these resources are also available in the marketing materials. So that's where we linked to this. So it'll take you back to that other landing page. And then all of our digital and printable resources. This is a new section for sure that just allows our chapter advisors to kind of be able to tell what's digital, what's printable, and those sort of things. You can see our QR codes. We'll go back up to the top here. One of the other features that I really think is nice, and it's not something that's exclusive to our site, of course, but it's just the Control F find feature. So because all of our resources are now pulled into one landing page, it makes it pretty easy to search for things. So like if you know that the name of your resource has the word virtual in it, you can, if you're on a Windows, it's Control F. If you're on a Mac, it's Control F, to just use the find feature, and you can go through and like quickly navigate to those individual items. And again, this will only search this part of our landing page. Something the CAC mentioned, and I feel like just as part of the marketing department, it's an area that we're trying to improve, but it is the searchability feature of our website. So unfortunately, BGS just doesn't have as much control over that as we'd like. It's a built-in feature of our website that's part of our host, and though we try to add SEO to our pages and everything, it just doesn't link up with that. So that's why I wanted to specifically point out the Control F find. And honestly, I mean, I could go over and like show you everything here, but I feel like it would be a good time to like jump into the Q&A. But to also mention the placement of the tiles in each individual section. So they're not alphabetical, as you can see, but they are based on popularity and use. So again, that comes back to the analytics that we pulled in. And yeah, just wanted to give that little caveat also. So I will stop sharing. And on this landing page too, we'll have this recorded webinar linked. So if there are any individuals that missed it or you want to share it with maybe your administrators, you can definitely do that. But at this point, I'll open it up for any questions or thoughts. Like I said, we've got the chapters team here in the background, so we'll definitely have them jump in to help answer anything. Any questions? It's a pretty big change, you all. You can ask anything. You're welcome, Susan. I really do hope you all see the improvements as like adding accessibility to the resources and just like an easier to navigate experience for you all, because we know it's very busy and everything you do for BGS is on top of your regular duties at your universities and colleges. I will take no questions as a win, everyone. Okay. Well, I'm glad that we didn't need to use the full time here today. But as always, please reach out to your chapter managers at chapters at Beta Gamma Sigma if you do have any questions as you're into your induction season this this semester, or especially in the spring semester moving forward. If you need help navigating anything or finding any resources, we can definitely help you out with that. But as I've mentioned, the recording will be available, so I'll try to get that up on the website and sent out as a link to all of the registrants either later today or tomorrow. Should be a pretty quick download here. Okay, well, thank you all so much for joining.